Good morning, old school Texas Tech. Hope everyone's doing well. It's very early here in Ecuador. I am decided I want to get up and shoot a video on the first couple of bowl games that have been played, and also start previewing the next bowl game that's coming up, I believe, tomorrow night. But the first bowl game I want to talk about is the Celebration Bowl. I picked Jackson State to win this game 27-24. They far exceeded my expectations, defeating South Carolina State 28-7. How'd they do it? Jacobian Morgan, their quarterback, who's had a really good season this year. He completed 71% of his passes. He did throw one interception, but he threw two touchdown passes, and he also picked up another. What was it? He picked up another 24 yards on the ground. So just an outstanding performance for that young man. And I believe he's a junior, if memory serves. So I don't know, in this era of college football, if he'll be back, but that could be a good piece for Coach T.C. Taylor as he picks up his first Celebration Bowl win, which is a big deal. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in a second. The running game from Jackson State was not as dominant as I thought it was going to be, although they were really, the play caller of this game. I can't quite tell who's calling the plays for Jackson State right now. It might be T.C. Taylor. I'm not sure, but I like the way he called the game. He stuck with the running game, even though the primary running back Mulligan was struggling, only 2.8 yards a carry. They kept feeding him the ball, and he ended up with two touchdowns. But more importantly, Jackson State controlled the clock. They controlled the clock, and their defense played outstanding. More on that in a second. A little bit more on Jacobian Morgan. He spread the ball out quite a bit. Hit a kid named Spencer. Only 3 catches on the day, but averaged 41 yards a catch and broke one for 67 yards. Another young man, and I'm probably not pronouncing his name wrong, and I apologize for that. Jonas Fordelin, 6 for 43, but caught 2 touchdown passes. Any Jackson State fans that happen to be watching this, if you can correct me on my pronunciation in the comments, I would appreciate it. Anyway, so Jackson State did not do quite as well as I thought they would do in the running game, but if you added it all together, including a few different players that they tried, this kid Matthews, I didn't know much about him before the game. He ended up with 11 carries for 55 yards. Anyway, they ended up with like 150 yards rushing to go with their 233 on the ground. But they played such good defense that it really didn't matter. I mean, South Carolina State didn't have a chance in this game with the way Jackson State was playing on defense. They held South Carolina State's quarterback, last name Phoenix, to below 50% passing. He also threw one pick. The backup quarterback came in and threw another pick. They were led by just an all around good defensive performance. If you watch the game, the highlights of the game, I wasn't able to watch the game, but I watched the long highlights. Jackson State just dominated this game defensively. They were led. Defensive MVP was Jeremiah Williams. Guy named Ashton Taylor, after Jacobian Morgan threw his first pick, or his first and only pick. Ashton Taylor ended up with an interception, pushed him 11 yards back, and got him out of field goal range. That was really a big point in the game. And then both Petty and Hawking each with a pick, and they just dominated the game defensively. Jackson State won a little bit differently than I thought they would, but they picked up their win. Coach Sanders now has a coaching tree going with T.C. Taylor. I'll be interested to see what Jackson State does. As I said when I reviewed their season, I've got a lot of family from Mississippi, and I'm pulling for Jackson State. I've been a Jackson State Tiger fan since started following Coach Sanders with the program, and I'm really happy for the fan base. I know they've been to the Celebration Bowl 3 times, and they finally get the win. So really happy for them, and happy for Mississippi and Jackson State.